Imagine catching a huge fish, but having no refrigerator. You cannot put it in a freezer. You cannot wrap it in plastic. And you certainly cannot turn a dial and make it cold. Yet humans needed food to last for days. A successful hunt could provide more meat than one family could eat. A good harvest could produce more grain than they needed immediately. But fresh food does not stay fresh forever. Warmth, moisture, insects, and bacteria slowly destroyed it. Spoiled food could mean hunger. So humans had to solve a very important problem. How could they make food last longer? One of humanity's simplest answers was already above them. The sun could remove something food desperately needed: water. Humans discovered that drying food slowed spoilage. They sliced meat into thinner pieces. Then they exposed those pieces to warm, dry air. Slowly, the moisture disappeared. The meat became smaller and harder. But it could now survive much longer. Fish could be dried too. Fruits could also be dried in the sun. Drying became one of the oldest food preservation tricks. But humans discovered another powerful tool: smoke. Fire had already changed human life. Then smoke became useful beyond cooking. People began hanging food above smoky fires. The smoke slowly dried the food. It also helped protect the food from some insects. The meat developed a darker color. And it developed a strong smoky flavor. Smoke could make food last significantly longer. It also gave communities another reason to master fire. A simple fire had become a preservation machine. And humans were only getting started. Then humans discovered something even more powerful: salt. Salt was everywhere near certain seas and mineral-rich places. People noticed that salty food behaved differently. Salt helped pull moisture away from food. That made the food much harder for many microbes to spoil. So people began salting meat and fish. Salted fish could survive long journeys. Salted meat could feed people during difficult seasons. Suddenly, food did not have to be eaten immediately. This changed how communities planned for the future. Food could now be saved for tomorrow. And sometimes even for months. But preservation did not always mean keeping food exactly the same. Sometimes humans let nature transform it. This process is called fermentation. Tiny helpful organisms changed the food. They could change its taste, smell, and texture. Some fermented foods lasted longer than fresh ingredients. Fermentation appeared in many different cultures. People learned through observation. They did not understand microbes yet, but they understood what worked. Generation after generation, that knowledge spread. Preservation became traditional knowledge. And humans kept finding new methods. Then humans noticed something very simple about cold places. Cold slowed the changes that spoiled food. In colder regions, snow and ice became natural storage. People could use caves because they stayed cooler. Some communities dug storage pits underground. The earth provided insulation. It protected food from extreme temperatures. It also protected supplies from some animals. Storage became just as important as preservation, because preserving food was useless if animals could steal it. Humans were learning to control both food and time. Their food could now survive beyond a single day. Food preservation did much more than prevent hunger. It allowed humans to travel farther. Hunters could carry dried meat. Travelers could carry salted fish. Families could prepare for harsh seasons. Farmers could save part of a harvest. Communities could build food reserves. That made larger settlements possible. People no longer had to search for food every single day. They could spend time building, trading, and exploring. Preserved food became a kind of security. It helped humans survive uncertainty. And that changed human history. So, how did humans preserve food before refrigerators? They used what nature gave them. They dried food under the sun. They smoked food above controlled fires. They preserved food with salt. They fermented certain foods. They stored food underground or in naturally cold places. None of these methods required electricity. They required observation, patience, and experimentation. Humans watched nature carefully. Then they turned those observations into survival skills. Long before refrigerators existed, humans had already found a way to control spoilage. And that simple knowledge helped humanity survive.